What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we've got another tier list. Low-key I just be redoing videos now. I think I've done this video already, but I needed to post a video and I needed to capitalize on the algorithm. And just putting Hamzat in thumbnails is just going to get me views, so that's what we're going to be doing. And we will be talking about the most unbeatable / beatable fighters in the UFC. As you can see, we got 7 tiers ranging from basically I wouldn't pick anyone to beat them right now, talking about their divisions of course, down to all the way at the bottom, which is the worst fighter in every division. So that will only feature 1 fighter per division, 8 fighters total. Anyway, there's like 50 fighters overall. No one's doing 50 fighter tier lists on MMA YouTube. Everyone's doing like 13 people. You know, they'll yap about like 14 fighters for 32 minutes. It's like, no. We are doing literal, like, covering half the fucking roster in these videos. Covering half of the top 15 of the divisions. So yeah. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you're new, we're gaining the subs pretty slow, but you know we're getting there. Hopefully we hit 16k in the next month or something. I guess what are we at right now? Let me check. If my fucking YouTube studio wants to load, we're at 15.39. So we're about to hit 15.4k. Let's try and hit 16k subs before UFC Perth. So like a month. 600 subs in a month. That's like realistic, surely. Anyway, like and subscribe. Follow my Twitter and Instagram, Left Lane MMA. Also, quick note, unfortunate news. Carlos Diego Ferreira's Bobby Green is off this weekend, so that's tough. By the time you've seen this video, you would have seen that news already, but just came through the news cycle. And also, I'm obviously picking the Russian dude. I can't even, Sursakayev or whatever his name is. I'm obviously picking him to win. Listen, kid, this guy's badass. And then I'm also picking Donchenko in that tough fight against Cezandino or whatever. Just because I wasn't going to delay my picks video for a tough finale prediction. But anyway, let's get started with the video. So, top tier, Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall is the most unbeatable fighter in the UFC right now. Again, this is not a pound for pound list. This is not a skills list. This is a divisionally who is the most unbeatable fighter. This is not me saying if Aspinall was a featherweight or if Aspinall was a lightweight, he'd beat Ilya. No, this is not what I'm saying. Like, pound for pound, I think Ilya would knock out Tom Aspinall. But we're talking about divisionally, and heavyweight is garbage, so I don't think anyone is going to beat Tom Aspinall. Also, yeah, if you get mad that I leave someone out, there's so many fighters I could have done. I even have a few more down the bottom of the, like, where you load the images in, because I just couldn't fit everyone into the tiers. So I'll discuss a few other people, I guess, at the end of the video. If I missed anyone, not that I forgot them, I just couldn't fit them in, and I just picked whoever came to my mind first. But Tom Aspinall, to start off, feels like as good of a representation for that top tier as you can get. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Hamzat Chimaev fighting this weekend. I can't put him top tier because I'm picking him to lose. But it's also like, I'm not very confident, and if he does beat Dricus, I don't think anyone beats this guy. Because if Hamzat does just run over Dricus in a round, who Dricus Du Plessis, I think undoubtedly everyone would say is like the second most physical guy in the division behind Hamzat, like just physical strength, like grappling strength. Who's 1? I think everyone would agree Hamzat. Who's 2? Probably Dricus. Like, who would we say is 3? Like, Fluffy seems like a strongish dude, but like, I don't think he's quite got that brute strength. He's got the more cardio wear you down. So if Hamzat goes out and subs Dricus in a round, I'm never going to pick against him ever again. Like, I'll just pick him in all of his fights. But I can't put him in that top tier again. He's not a champion yet as well. So there is a kind of thing about that, as in, like, if you're unranked looking phenomenal, I can't put you as high. That's why I have the promising, very promising tier. Because like very promising is more for like established top 15, top 10 guys. Promising is more for the unranked section / guys that I think are decent, but I'm not overly high on in the rankings. And then solid, obviously. Solid is more for the ranked guys who I just think are kind of mid, to be honest. Anyway, though, let's move on. Next up, we got Jean Silva. I think right now, Jean Silva is looking extremely promising in terms of a UFC contender. If you're looking at guys who I would pick to beat him confidently, there's not a lot. Like, who can you tell me at featherweight right now you're confidently picking to beat Jean Silva? Like, some people might be picking Lopez to beat him. Some people might be picking, some people might pick Movzar to beat him. Some people might pick Volk to school him. But like, other than that, after how we saw him deal with the grappling of Bryce Mitchell, I think he beats Aljo. I think Aljo's too hittable on the feet. And I don't think he's quite got the physical strength to just ragdoll Gene Silver. And on even on the striking, like, maybe Yair could keep him at range, but I think Yair is hittable. Like, I just think Gene Silver is a very difficult style. He's so composed on the feet. He's probably the hardest hitter at 45 right now. If you're combining, don't say Josh Emmett, if we're combining, like, technique and power, like, who actually has the ability to produce the most knockouts at featherweight, I think Gene Silver would find KOs against more guys than Josh Emmett, even if Emmett hits harder pound for pound. Anyway, let's move on. Ateba Gautier, promising. Again, this is an unbeatable tier list. This is not a prospect tier list. This is like, right now, what are we looking at? Right now, Ateba Gautier is promising. He is not ranked. He has not beaten anyone good. He looks technical. He looks dangerous. He looks powerful. Grappling defense is a question. He got taken down by that overweight Japanese dude on Contender Series. So I can't just declare him as a future champion right now. What I can say is he has the potential to do so, and as that reason, this is kind of the tier for those sort of guys. Next up, Lerone Murphy, bruv. Fighting this weekend. I'm fucking sleepy, mate. Aaron Pico's gonna fucking knock me out, mate. Lerone Murphy, I don't know. Like, I think he's good, and I'm picking him to beat Aaron Pico, but I just don't view him like good at all. Like, I don't view him as like a good, like, no, I view him as a good fighter, but like, is he gonna beat Volk? Is he gonna beat Gene Silver? Is he gonna beat even like a Lopez? Or like, would he beat like Aljo or something, like Movzar? Like, it kind of feels like this is just the peak. Like, if he beats Pico, it's like, yeah, but is he gonna beat a top 5 guy? Like, he can probably beat Ortega, because Ortega's shit. But like, even Yair, like, him and Yair, like, I don't know if I'm confidently picking him against anyone else, like, in the division after Pico. Like, I think Emmett was kind of his ceiling-ish, and then if you think Pico's better than Emmett, you can say Pico's his ceiling. But yeah, Lerone Murphy, I'm not too sure how to feel about him. Anyway, Mario Bautisto's up next. Yeah, he just doesn't do a lot for me. He's on a win streak somehow, which is disappointing. The thing I hate, this is like a little, like, annoying, like, casual pet peeve that I hate. It's like, these fuckers that will be like, bro, I don't know, Bantamweight might be the best division. Like, everyone's like, oh, what's the best division in the sport? And everyone's like, oh, lightweight. And then you'll hear those guys, yeah, but Bantamweight's a close second, or Bantamweight might even be number 1. It's like, Bantamweight is not top 5. Dude, that's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that. Bro, lightweight is better, featherweight is better, welterweight is better, middleweight is better, and flyweight is arguably better in my opinion. I'm sorry, bro. Does someone actually, like, think... I think there is like, the only divisions that I would say clearly Bantamweight is better than is light heavyweight and heavyweight, because they're both shit. But, like, flyweight is better right now. Joshua Van is a more intriguing title contender than fucking Corey Sandhagen. And I guess it's no fault of Marab that he's just beaten everyone. But, like, Pantoja is a more fun champion than Marab in terms of fights, in my opinion. And in terms of the contender pool and the prospect pool, like... How many guys are there coming up at Bantamweight that you're, like, really high on? Like, yeah, that's a guy who can challenge for the belt. Like, how many of the... Like, it's kind of like, whatever. It's like Jan and Umar and shit are, like, cool. That's a good fight. But, like, outside the top 5, like, Cheeto Vera is, like, a top 8 Bantamweight. Like, Amian Zahabi at fucking 38 years of age is on a win streak and looking like a contender. And might be top 10 if he beats Cheeto. Like... Flyweight's just better, dude. Like, I swear to God, Flyweight's a better... Bantamweight is the sixth best division in the sport right now. I would rather watch a... Like, if you're talking about which division can produce, like, the best fights, Bantamweight can produce, like, one of probably, like, the top 5 best non-title fights. With Umar and Jan, or O'Malley and Jan, or O'Malley and Umar. Those 3. But then apart from that, there's not much doing there for me. Like, Bautista being a prospect is just, like, fucking disgraceful. Anyway, next up, flyweight division. I would say it's a tough one. There's not a lot of, like, really bum, like, shit flyweights. I'm going to put Mitch Raposo as the worst flyweight, in my opinion. But I'm open to any other names. There's a few other guys who are 0-1, like Lewis Rocker, I believe the kid's name is. Stuart Nickel as well. I'd say the loser of Lewis Rocker and Stuart Nickel, who are both 0-1 in the UFC. They might get the title. Anyway, that again proves my point of why flyweight is good, because None of those guys, you can't look at a flyweight and just say, this kid's a fucking absolute bum. Like, this guy absolutely stinks. He isn't talented. Like, I could go down to my local gym and find someone better. Whereas you can do that with, like, every other fucking division. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Dricus du Plessis, the champion, fighting this weekend. Again, the fact that I view this fight as really 50-50, and, like, whoever wins this, I don't think they lose to anyone else. Like, if you, like, who would you pick to beat Hamzat if he wins this? And then who would you pick to beat Dricus if he wins this? Like, I think some people view Dricus as, like, a bit more vulnerable because they just think he looks so goofy, but it's like, but, like, are you picking, I think Imavov's really good. It's like, are you picking Imavov to beat him? Like, Imavov, it just kind of feels like he'd get taken down and just tired in the grappling. Like, Fluffy's good. Is Fluffy, like, can Fluffy gas him out? Like, maybe. I don't think RDR beats him. I don't think Baralio beats him. It's like, who are we looking at to beat Dricus? So I really do believe the winner of this is, it's sort of like with Marab and Umar earlier in the year, and I maintain that comparison, like, and that's why I'm picking Dricus. Undefeated guy, promised champion, you know, obviously Umar doing it less dominantly on the way up, but still, you get the point. And then also, in terms of that current champion, Marab was in that situation where, like, this is his nightmare matchup. If he wins this, it's fucking smooth sailing to Bantamweight GOAT status and, like, top 10 all-time, top 5 all-time legacy if he can just stack up wins. I think it's the same thing with Dricus. If he wins this, he's top 15 all-time easily. Lucas will probably have him, like, number 4. And he can really start stacking on wins, and, like, another win after that is, like, your top 10, your top, like, 8, like, where you're up there. Anyway, next up, Anthony Hernandez. Speak of him. Looks very fucking good. Like, I couldn't say, like, guaranteed future champion, but, like, I just can't doubt him to do that across 5 rounds to most guys. Like, that just seems like a style that he can replicate against most dudes in the division, as long as he doesn't get, like, finished early. Anyway, next up, we got Mauricio Rufy. Again, this is what this tier is for. Guys who are unproven, guys who haven't cracked into the rankings, haven't beaten that guy to really prove they're super, super legit, but just you can use the eye test and we're like, yeah, it looks real good. If he beats BSD, I'd bump him up. Like, KO's BSD, schools him, masterclass, doesn't look in trouble ever in that fight. I think I bump him up a tier. Anyway, next up, Rainier de Ritter. Again, I know he beat Whitaker, and he did win that fight. I don't think it's a robbery. But I just don't think that style, like, I mean, maybe. Like, you can't even say that, because maybe he just goofs it up against everyone in the fucking division. But, I don't know, I'm just not that high on de Ritter, to be honest. I just think spamming knees is only going to work for so long. Like, Whitaker fought extremely fucking tentatively in that fight. I feel like Whitaker sold that fight for himself. If he just fought with a bit more confidence and actually stayed behind his weapons properly and instead of just backing up the whole time, he would have won. Torres Finney is up next, clearly not doing anything for me. Like, people thought this dude was, like, some sort of problem coming off Contender. They're like, bro, this guy's so... Like, people are just, like, physique maxing, like, physique predicting this guy to just be good, and it's like, dude, he's shit. And then for Bantamweight, I would say the worst fighter in Bantamweight right now is Chris Matinho. AJ Cunningham's another pretty dismal fighter. Toshiomi Kazama is not very talented either. So there's a few options at Bantamweight. Again, I think the biggest talking point of this video is not going to be the main part of the tier list. It's just the who is the worst fighter in each division. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is literally the worst? Like, who do you think would not win a fight against anyone currently on the UFC roster? Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Ilia Aptorio, yeah, Toptoro. I think Ilia is pretty undoubtedly I wouldn't say unbeatable. Like, you can say there's guys who you'd pick him to be competitive with, but, like, is anyone picking Arman to beat him? Like, you could, but, like, is anyone like, yeah, bro, Arman smokes him? Like, is anyone looking at the lightweight division right now with its current landscape and being like, yeah, this is Ilia's nightmare matchup. This is the guy who's just going to run over him. Like, the guy who people are saying is the best chance to beat him, Arman Tsarukyan, took Ilia's last opponent who got slumped out cold in the first round to a split decision. Like, that's the state. I'm honestly inclined to say lightweight's not even the best division right now. Lightweight's the deepest because the unranked pool of lightweight is, like, crazy. And if you took them pound for pound, like Joel Alvarez, Ignacio Bahamondes, Mauricio Rufy, Ludovic Klein, all these unranked guys, like Chris Duncan even, Mateusz Rebecki, like all Fares Siam, all these guys, outside the rankings at lightweight right now would all be like top 10 fucking, like top 5 light heavyweights, let's be honest. Like pound for pound, every single one of those guys I just named beats Jamal Hill. Every single one of those guys I named beats fucking Sergey Pavlovich. Like skill wise, like clearly. I know it's kind of dumb because like heavyweights are just going to be less skilled, but like, am I wrong? Am I wrong to say that like those guys are on the striking caliber of Khalil Roundtree? That shouldn't be a crazy take, but I know someone's going to be like, what are you talking about, bro? Khalil Rountree's got the best Muay Thai in the UFC, bro. Joe Rogan told me so, bro. Like, alright, buddy. Go get your fucking MMA information from TikTok edits with Joe Rogan soundtracks on them, and then come back to this video. Like, just fuck off. Mauricio Rufy is a better striker than Khalil Roundtree. Fact. If anyone actually disagrees with that, if anyone disagrees that Joel Alvarez wouldn't be a top 5 light heavyweight, you're a casual. Anyway, let's move on. Who's next up? We got, anyway, how did I even talking about that from Ilya Topuria? But yeah, no, I wouldn't pick anyone to beat him right now. Anyway, next up, Islam Makhachev. I'm going to put, if he was at lightweight, but even at lightweight, I would say I wouldn't put him top tier because I would pick Ilya to beat him. But yeah, especially at welterweight, like there's multiple guys at welterweight that I view as tough matchups for him. I'm probably leaning JDM to beat him 51-49 at this stage. Like, Shavkat's a tough fight for him. Sean Brady is a tough fucking fight for him. Usman even is still a tough fight for him. Like, Bilal, whatever. But, like, there's all these guys, right? And just these are tough fights for him. So I don't, and even Ilya back at lightweight, like I just don't see Islam as some dominant, like unbeatable force. Like I think people kind of were talking about him after he beat Moicano. Anyway, Joshua Van is up next. My GOAT, Joshua Van. I am picking Pantoja to beat him. I am picking Alejandro Pantoja to win that fight. But I'm not under any illusion that like Joshua Van is like a very capable matchup to beat him. Like, he definitely could. But again, like, he's a promising contender who I think would be in competitive striking matches with a few of those top guys and probably beats everyone else except... But, like, even grappling-wise, like, would Tyra sub him? Like, probably not. But, like, would I be overly confident the Van has no issues with Tyra in the grappling? Like, I can't say that. But I do love Josh Van. Anyway, next up, Kevin Vallejos. Again, that's the promising tier. I'm not going to explain it for all of them. I think he's unproven, or not. I won't say unproven, like he was competitive with Gene Silver, but I need to see it, because we see that all the time. It's a different scenario, but we see all these guys come in on short notice, make their debuts, and they look real good, and so you pick them in their next fight, and then they look mid. That's not what Vallejos has done, but I still do need him to beat, like, if he goes out there and, like, whoops up a Giga Chikadze, or, like, whoops up a, like, guy out, like a Nathaniel Wood or some shit, or a Morgan Charrier even, like, outside the rankings, I'll be like, alright, well, you got it, bro. But right now, Danny Silva's real good. Sungwoo Choi ain't going to do it for me, but I still think he's very good. But I need him to beat those guys and get into the top 15, top 10 before I move him up. Anyway, Azamat Mirzakhanov up next. I'm stamping my flag on the Azamat Mirzakhanov is mid train. And I've done it for a little bit now. And I've been doing it since I've picked him in all his fights, by the way. But I've been doing it since the Rakic fight was announced. Because I'm picking Rakic to beat him and fucking school him. And everyone's like, bro, Mirzakhanov by KO, bro. And I'm just thinking, like, are we forgetting this man took Dustin Jacoby to a decision and didn't look all that good? Like, maybe he was injured or something. But, like, are we acting like this dude's entire highlight reel isn't based off complete jobbers and just bombs? Like, are we going to act like this dude's coming off like a Volkanov's doing me a KO or some shit? Like, he ain't. He ain't beating, like, anyone. He hasn't beaten anyone good. Like, he hasn't lost, sure. But, like, Jacoby won a round off him. And Jacoby is just a firmly unranked guy. So, like, I've done this. I'm stamping my flag here. I'm not switching up. If he KOs Rakic, I'll eat my fucking words. But I'm stamping my flag on the Mirzakhanov ain't all that, and he's not top 5 caliber. And I still think Rakic is. I still think Rakic beats Khalil Roundtree. I still think Rakic is competitive and probably beats Carlos Solberg if he fights smart. Amin Zahabo's up next. I don't want to talk about this fucking guy. It annoys me to look at. And then Muhammad Yahya is the worst featherweight on the roster, in my opinion. I think that's a pretty undebatable one, to be honest. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Alejandro Pantoja. Now, I know I said I'm picking him to beat Joshua Van, and I wouldn't actually... Like, this is kind of dumb. Like, I wouldn't... Push comes to shove, I wouldn't pick anyone to beat him right now. But it's also just like, I don't view him as the same level of divisional dominance as Ilya and Aspinall. Like, Aspinall fucking kills every heavyweight on the roster right now. Like, I can't confidently say Pantoja beats Josh Van. I can't confidently say that, like, he might not lose a fucking trilogy randomly, flukily to Moreno. Like, I don't know. And I think he would beat these guys. And I want to say that he is a, like, top 3 pound for pound fighter in the sport, because I think he is. My top 3 pound for pound right now is Ilya, Islam, Pantoja. And I think, like, yeah, and then, like, Merab, and if Dricus wins, like, Merab's, I think top 5 is undoubtedly those 3 plus Merab and Dricus. If Dricus wins this weekend, he's, like, number 2 or 1 in my, like, he's above Islam, so it's like, is he above Ilya? We'll see. They won't put him above Ilya because the pound for pound rankings guys are retarded, but, like, he should be if he does win. But Pantoja, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of dumb because he fits the bill of the top tier. Like, right now I wouldn't pick anyone to beat Pantoja, but he also feels like a little bit, not like vulnerable, but like he beats everyone, but he doesn't like smoke a lot of these guys. Like, Cap in a rematch is potentially tricky. Like, Van is a tricky fight for him. Van is a sort of Bilal JDM-esque matchup, except for the fact that Pantoja is way better than Bilal. Right? Like, that's the kind of vibe of it. So, yeah, I don't know. I love Pantoja. I'm just getting a bad vibe, like, because it's like, you know how anytime this guy's getting close-ish to divisional GOAT status, and I know people are going to not want to hear that, but he is. If he beats Joshua Van, there is a genuine argument that he's the flyweight GOAT. Anytime we see these fights, we're like, win here, and you, like, we got the conversation starting. Like, I know Merab's Bantamweight GOAT, obviously, Islam's, like, lightweight GOAT, but those are shorter mountains to climb. It's like the ones where it's like, that 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 title defenses, and we're looking at that quality of resume over quantity of wins kind of thing, right? And then it's like, oh, he's almost there, win here, and he's got it, and then he loses. So that is the concern with Pants. Anyway, Sean Brady's up next. Again, just solid contender. Who's up next? Jose Delgado, again, unproven prospect. A little bit more proven than a few of these other guys in terms of the quality of win with that height or a middle win, but it was a very quick affair. It didn't take a lot out of it. Anyway, Zhang Mingyang's up next. I think Zhang is solid. I don't view... Lucas Tracy did a video with, like, the next champion in each division, and he put Zhang Mingyang. I'm not stamping my flag on Zhang Mingyang being mid as much as Mirzakanov, because Zhang Mingyang is, like, 26, he can improve. I just don't think Mirzakanov's going to be improving that much. Zhang Mingyang is good. I still think he's, like, a little bit iffy. Like, I still didn't love how he looked against Anthony Smith. Like, you sort of had to BSD prep your way to a win. Or like Lial Morono, your way to a win over Anthony Smith, where you're like, okay, I hit harder than you, I'm just going to maraud forward and win, without actually looking particularly good. So I really, like, if he sleeps Walker, again, we're not going to learn much from that, but if he goes out there and just, like, doesn't even get hit by Walker, and just, like, actually looks defensively good, we know his offense is dangerous, we know he's got great power, but we also know Walker's chinny as fuck, so I need to see something from him. I don't know what it would take for Zhang Mingyang to, like, impress me against Johnny Walker, because, like, at this point, it's just regulation, like, you should KO Johnny Walker. But anyway, next up, though, we got Jacoby Smith. Jacoby Smith's like, you could put him in solid, but I don't view him on the same tier of prospects. Like, he's not that young, he's, like, 29. I think this dude is just black welterweight Bo Nickel. I think that's the case. Like, he got a highlight reel KO over Preston Parsons, who's a little bit better than Val Woodburn, I'll say, who Bo Nickel got his KO over. And then in his next fight, he fights a sort of the vet, the kind of crafty fucking test of the division, you know, fights the Nico Price, aka the Cody Brundage, takes it out the first rounds, looks mid, takes it into round 2, gets the rear naked, you know. Alright, let's see what you do next. And then his next fight, if we're following careers, is the Paul Craig fight, and I think he's going to look mid as fuck against whoever he fights next on the feet, and just like, I don't know, I just don't think Jacoby Smith is doing it for me. Anyway, Anshul Jubilee at lightweight, I'd say, is probably the worst lightweight on the roster. There's a lot of bad lightweights, because they kind of sign a lot of, like, the top 30 of lightweight, top 35 is, like, great. 35 to like 70 is like, yeah, whatever. And then like 70 to like 85 is all just bum heads that they signed on regional, like from regional shows on like a week notice, who they just all gave a contract for no reason. Like they just gave them a 2 or 3 fight deal for no reason because they're shit. They're like, oh, we need you to step in, so we'll let you have another chance after you inevitably get flatline KO'd. Anyway, let's move on. Merab Dvalishvili, again, I'm not picking this dude to lose a bantamweight right now. Like, it's not like his style is just so, like, high level and he's powerful and he's quicker than everyone or more technical or better wrestler. He's just got cardio for days and no one can keep up. And no one has the stopping. Like, O'Malley was the one guy who it's like, maybe he can catch him and put him away. Because, like, to beat Merab, it's like you got to either catch him and put him away, or you got to somehow stay on the outside for long enough and have enough time on the feet to win rounds on the feet. And that was like the O'Malley potential. Because even though Umar did better than O'Malley, it's like you kind of got to be that kind of style. I don't think Sandhagen's going to do it. Song Yadong's a chance to catch him early. I could see that happening maybe. But like other than that, this is my thing of why Bantamweight's dead. Because like Bautista's fighting Umar. Umar's just going to win. So it's like, alright, cool. No contender there. He's already beat Umar. And then like the first fight was close. So you'll be hype, I guess. But it's like, we're just going to run rematches. Like, I don't know. Like, Merab's title resume is going to end up being insane, but it's going to end up being, like, O'Malley times 2, Yarn times 2, Umar times 2. Like, it's going to be cool, but it's also going to show a weaker division. The fact that no one else got through to a title shot. Like, if we go down his resume and see 6 names out of 11 wins, like, we see like, 11, like, or we see, like, 8 title wins, and only 4 different names, that's going to look a bit weird, you know? Anyway, though, let's move on. Who is next? Jack Della Maddalena is up next. JDM, like, I wouldn't confidently pick him to lose at welterweight, that's the thing. But I also can't, again, it's similar to a Pantoja. Like, I can't say, like right now, who am I picking to beat JDM? I think I'd pick Sean Brady to beat him. Islam, as I said, like 49-51 either way. And like I'd pick him to beat Shavkat probably. I'd pick him to beat I'd probably pick him to beat who the fuck like Usman, but like I can't confidently say I'd pick him in all these fights. Anyway though, let's move on. Who's next? Arman Sakarian. Again, I'd pick him to lose to Ilya. Probably beats everyone else, to be honest. Islam Dulatov, again, prospect, promising, need to see him beat someone good. Apparently he was offered to fight on the Paris card, he turned it down or whatever, injury, something, I don't know. That was disappointing. Anyway, Paddy Pimblett's up next, solid. I was tempted to put not doing much for me, but he's beaten Chandler. Like, I'd probably fucking consider picking him to beat Gaethje at this point. Which, again, lightweight's kind of mid. Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong for saying the fact that, like, Paddy Pimblett is low-key a top 5 lightweight is, like, a bad fucking reflection on the division? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, with Poirier gone and Islam effectively gone from the division, moving up to welterweight, it's like, top 5 is Ilya, obviously, as champion. The number 1 contender's Arman. You probably say Holloway's 2, Charles is 3, Gaethje's 4, and then it's, like, Gamrot or Pimblett or something, or Hooker, or like those guys are 5. Like Dan Hooker is like a top 7 lightweight, just does not. It don't sit well with me. It rubs me the wrong way. It tickles my pickle, you know. I think he's a fucking bum, you know. Dan Hooker is a fucking can. Like I don't know, he's just shit. Like what? I don't like the fact that these guys are top 10 in the division. Anyway, Mansour Abdul Malik. Now this dude's a bum. This guy actually sucks. I saw someone like talking, like I watched the like thing after this dude made his UFC debut. I forget who it was, and someone's like, "Yeah, this dude's just an athletic specimen. You know, he needs a lot of fine tuning, but this guy is like a potential champion." I'm like, alright, first of all, he's not good. Second of all, he's not even like he doesn't even hit that hard. Like he's not just one punching everyone. Like he's not a Tabor Gautier. And then he's like, his grappling's mid. He's hittable as fuck. He's looked mid in back-to-back fights against Nick Klein and Cody Brundage, who I'm not going to put as the worst middleweight on the roster, but they're top 5. Like, those two are not good. And he looked mid. So, like, yeah, Mansour Abdul Malik is just pure athleticism, no skill. With his Gautier has skill. Next up, Mickey Gall is going to be my worst welterweight on the roster, in my opinion. That seems like a pretty safe pick to me. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Alexander Volkanovski. You're done. Don't swell me. I'm fucking top tier and I won't have this fucking disrespect, mate. Volkanovski, you know, it's tough because, like, he's vulnerable in terms of, like, I don't like the potential of a KO. Like, I'm not loving a Gene Silver fight for him. And even I'm worried that he might low-key get fucking fluked by Aaron Picto. Like, I don't know. Other than that, like, I think he beats Movzar, and it's really annoying because I need him to get Movzar next. I need him to just do Movzar, give him the title shot, even though he pulled out like a bitch and he ran from Aaron Pico. Give Movzar the shot just because that is Volkanovski's most winnable of his realistic title fights right now. Like, obviously he beat Lerone Murphy, but, like, if we're saying, would you rather him fight Yair? If we're ranking them in order of, like, winnable, Yair is more winnable on like 90% of the time, but Yair has a fluke KO potential. I don't view Movzar as someone who can, like, fluke a win over Volk. Like, if he beats Volk, it's by decision, which I just don't think it would happen because Movzar doesn't finish anyone. But Gene Silver's the fight where I'm like, bro, Volk, can we just get the Movzar win and retire and then let Gene Silver fight whoever for the belt? Like, I don't want to see you get KO'd by this guy. Anyway, still, I think he's a lot better than pretty much everyone else in the division. Nassourdine Imavov is up next. Imavov, again, solid contender. Michael Morales, solid contender as well. Little bit needs to be proven, I suppose you could say. Bogdan Gushkov. I love Bogdan Gushkov, and I would love to meme it and just say, like, yes, we are top 5 caliber. And honestly, division-wise, like, he might have a higher ceiling than some of these guys that I've got above him. But, I don't know, I just can't be, like, he did lose to Ozdemir. Anyway, Steve Garcia is up next. Garcia is just one of those guys who ain't doing a lot for me. Like, I don't see Garcia as, like, some crazy marauder. Like, Garcia is just a low-budget Gene Silver of, like, marauds forward with KO power, but, like, Gene's actual technical, and this guy couldn't finish a washed Kelvin Cater. Sorry, and then Antonio Tricoli is, in my opinion, the worst middleweight on the roster. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Next up, Magomed Ankalaev. Now, I think Alexander Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev and Alejandro Pantoja and Dricus and shit, these guys are all better than Ankalaev skill for skill. I just think light heavyweight's dog shit, and I can't say I'm picking Pereira to lose. I'm picking Ankalaev, to beat Pereira in the rematch again, obviously, and I can't. There's no one who I look at and I'm just like, yeah, like, I'm picking them to beat Ankalaev. Like, Yuri, you can say, might goof it up and fucking win. Like, that's always a potential with Jiri Prohaska, but apart from that, it's like Khalil Roundtree, it's fucking Carlos Olberg, it's Dominic Reyes. Like, light heavyweight is just ass. Anyway, what's up next? Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now, I don't know if Shavkat even... Sorry, I'm moving around a bunch on my fucking couch. I can't find a comfortable position to sit. But Shavkat Rakhmonov, I actually would low-key put him in the tier below, but I just wanted to include him. And there's another guy, like, couldn't decide who to not put in that tier below, so kind of consider this top of the bottom tier, like top of the very promising tier. So if anyone's having an outrage about me putting Shavkat, consider him top of that tier below. But I just had a few other guys, that I wanted to include. Next up, Tatsuro Taira. Even after the Roval loss, I think he's, like, very promising. He's young. He's clearly improving drastically. Like, he's clearly looking way better in his game, way better even in his striking. Like, his hands look pretty nasty, and his submissions just looked great. Like, he just ran over Park. Again, I'd love to see him versus, like, an actual top 15, top 10 guy. Like, if he'd done that, I don't think he's good. I know we call him Amir Al-Bumzi, but just for confirmation bias, like, if we'd known... if I'd seen him do that to Amir Al-Bumzi, I could really, like, be like, damn, bro, that's, like, him and Van is going to be, like, the generational rivalry of flyweight once Pantoja leaves. And that might still be the case. And I can still see that belt getting passed around a little bit. But still. Anyway, Lona Kavanagh, good prospect, very technical. Looks like he's got all the fundamentals. And I like the fact that he's not relying on some, like iffy finishing ability that he's getting against these bums, but not against like anyone good. Like, I would be worried if he was like coming off a bunch of KOs against like unranked guys, and as soon as he fights like Felipe dos Santos, he takes him to a decision. Like, I would rather him just take everyone to decision. So I'm like, I know that he's good. I know that he can fight across the distance. Like, I know that he can beat Jose Ochoa, which is a good win in a pretty much pure striking fight. Like, I rate that. Alexandre Tapora is up next. I'd say solid for now. I know some people were glazing, acting like this dude's the next champion of Bantamweight. First of all, he needs to actually be active. He fought in February. Where the fuck are you? Also, he beat Colby Thickness. I don't know how good that win is. So we need to see him beat someone established in the UFC before we can start talking. Navajo Sterling, I just don't think he's particularly good. And then Junior Tafa, who is somehow still signed. There's like a multi-way tie between like Junior Tafa, Ibo Aslan, and like Rafael Sequeira. I know Aslan beat Sequeira, so maybe it's like we might need to do, even if Tafa loses to Aslan, we might need to do Tafa versus Rafael Sequeira to determine who is the worst light heavyweight on the roster. Anyway, let's move on. We'll wrap it up here. Movsar Evloev, very promising. This is last year. This guy here, I need to actually learn how to say this motherfucker's name, bro. Let me check. Susakai, like, I know that's the kid's like surname. Baysangar Susakayev. This dude's sick. Dana White called this man Jimmy. Dana White went to the post-fight press conference. He's like, I need to learn how to say this motherfucker's name. I'm gonna just call him Jimmy. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you made it this far in the video with my fucking yap sesh. Like, let me know. Say we will be supporting Jimmy this weekend. That's the new one, because we know Joe. Joe is Gaston Bolaños. And that's the meme that we created on this channel. You know, the Joe being Gaston Bolaños. That's the real ones. Real ones know. This is gonna be an ongoing thing. Jimmy, we're just calling him Jimmy. So anytime I refer to a Jimmy, it's Sir Sakayev. I will never be referring to his actual name. He's just gonna be Jimmy from now on. But he looks real good. He looks promising. Fighting this weekend, obviously, as I said, picking him to win by KO. Really sick that they're getting him to turn around immediately. Ramazan Temirov, solid. Yusuf Zalal, not much doing for me. And then Austin Lane, I'm going to put as the worst heavyweight on the roster. Anyway, guys, that will do it. Hope you enjoyed the yap sesh today. We have improved our thumbnail making ability, and we will be getting more than 1.2k views on a video. So yeah, hopefully this video does well views-wise. Anyway, press conference in a couple hours. I won't be live for it because it'll be like 8 AM here, but I'll watch that, and then I'll do the pressure rankings video before the fights tomorrow. So yeah, see you later, guys. Goodbye.